Hi, this is a training video for how to run a new report called Send to PRISM Criteria that's meant to accompany the new Send to PRISM process. Only lead entities and data stores that have permissions can send projects to PRISM. So to access the new report from your workspace, click on Reports. And you'll notice that Send to PRISM Criteria is a new report available here. That's going to tell you all the projects that are in the system, the validation errors for sending projects to PRISM. So if I recommend that you apply a filter first before running the report, otherwise it's going to run the report for everything in your system. So make a selection first using the filter panel and then click the report. So what that's doing is it's running the report only against those projects that have the grant round tag 2024. Give you some basic project information. And you'll notice here it will have some validation notes. And this is by funding entry. So you may see this, some project records are repeated twice. That's because it's by funding entry. And it'll give us some validation notes that we may need to update this project if we do want to send it to PRISM. So taking an example here, I'll just look at this first one. And I can quickly get to this project by clicking this link here. Now what the validation is looking for that the project is either in planned or proposed status. There are some project and program type restrictions. The other thing we're going to look at is to make sure that we are requesting an amount from RCO. So we'll need to add an organization RCO. Can only send projects to PRISM where they're requesting an RCO administered program and give it an amount. Some programs have request restrictions, but that was also part of the validation process on the Send to PRISM page. The next thing you're going to want to check is to make sure that you have a primary sponsor and a project contact listed. If not, it's not going to pass validation. So what we're doing is we're just making sure that all the necessary elements are in this project so that it will show on the Send to PRISM page. So now I can either go to the Send to PRISM page, or I can go back to the report to see if it's passed the validation, that is. Now I'm just going to go to the Send to PRISM page, and I can see that this particular project that I was interested in the validation report has now passed validation because I entered in the required fields. But just for demonstration purposes, I'll go back to the report. This time I'm only going to run the Send to PRISM Criteria Report just for this project. So I'm going to enter the project ID number as the keyword and then click the Send to PRISM Criteria Report and look at the results. And I can see in the validation notes that it's ready to send to PRISM. Now, you can do other selections here. So if I clear this and maybe I just want to look at all my planned projects, I can rerun the report and I can export this list as a PDF or Excel. Excel's a little bit handier because I can sort and filter. And it's opening on my other screen. Here we go. So this is the one we just worked on. But we can see that most of these projects are not passing validation. So if I want to apply a filter here, and maybe I want to just see all the ones that are ready to be sent. Looks like we have 5 here that are planned. And then some of them just need a project contact. We got 3 of those there. And then we can see most of these will need multiple updates to pass validation. So this is just a way of organizing the projects, getting them ready to be sent to PRISM. I can tell by the empty fields here that these are most likely the information that I'm missing on my project that needs to be filled in before I can send to PRISM. So I could curate this and then go back into SRP and make these updates, depending on your workflow. And so if you want to use the same report to determine what has already been sent, a good way to do that is to, I'm going to clear this and then add a new keyword. So I want everything that's in the 2024 grant round that has already been submitted. So I'm going to create a custom report using the same sent to PRISM criteria. Apply. These will give me all the projects that have already been sent because I'm using a 2024 dash, and I know that those are in a 2024 grant round. And I want to save this report for later. So what I'll do is I'll do save report as 2024 grant round. And I can projects submitted, and I want to save this with so that other lead entities or folks that have access to your reporting module can use the same report. Click that button. So now I can see that my 2024 grant round submissions report has been saved. And so I don't have to rerun or re-add this filter criteria. I can simply come, every time I come to the reports page, it'll be here and I can just rerun it. So as I'm submitting projects, I can come back here and rerun it as needed to get an update as to which projects have actually been submitted. And also you can keep an eye here on your project detail status. So as the application moves through the cycle, going from pre-application to application complete to active, et cetera, that will be tracked here as well. So that's handy. And I think that's it. So let us know if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.